Are you ready to be in the spotlight? Are you ready to share your story with the world? Well, Snails with No Shells is where you need to be. Available on all digital platforms, Facebook, and YouTube. Snails with No Shells. Leave that shell at the door. Where did we go wrong? We were doing so well. For exclusive content, join the Patreon family today. Is it just my imagination? Greetings, beautiful ones. I am Ms. BJ Martin, and this is Snails with No Shells. Leave that shell at the door. Be a slug for a little while. It's okay. That's the only rule that I have in this room. All right, let's get into it. I like to bring my beautiful, amazing, accomplished guest to the stage. Ms. Noreen Henry. All right, Noreen, how are you?
I'm doing well. I'm doing very well. Thank you for having me on your show.
Yes, thank you for being on the show. I'm full of gratitude. Thank you so much. All right, let's get into it. Noreen, so I see you are a resident. You reside in New York, but where were you born and raised?
I was born and raised in London, England.
London, England. What? You know, I can hear something. I'm like, well, I don't know, because it kind of sound like some like a little Jamaican in there too. So yeah. I was like, I don't know, but I'm going to see. Really, London, England. Wow.
Yeah. And my parents are Jamaican, so that's really good.
I was right, y'all. I was right.
Yeah.
Wow. All right. So what was it like being Jamaican growing up in London, England?
It was good. I enjoyed it. Because I actually came here as a teenager, so I was okay. I spent most of my life here, but I enjoyed it in England, and coming here was a big culture shock.
Yeah, so we can talk about that. You said beautiful life in England. I know, like the weather, was the weather. Did they get? I don't know much about England, so
yeah, the weather was. We didn't get hot summers, right? Mm-hmm. I remember one year I think I was a teenager. Yeah, no, I wasn't a teenager yet. But we had a heat wave, right? So
I know y'all were shocked.
We had a heat wave, and so I cannot remember one. Mm-hmm. So it would get warm, but it wouldn't get hot. We didn't have the hot weather that we have in New York City. So when we came here, I loved the sun. So.
Yeah, I bet. So what was it like? You said a culture shock. Like, what was it? What was it like? What happened? How was it so different?
It was different. Part of it was we had so much love over there from our family, mm-hmm. and coming here was and our friends. Coming here now, we had to start everything new, right? Because we didn't know anybody. Like, mm-hmm. We didn't know any family. We never met them before, so everything was new. So it was challenging with mm-hmm. that. Meeting completely new people, plus the culture is totally different. Like, I remember one of the things that I remember just recently, when we first came here, when we were on the street, we saw people on the road with rollers in their hair and their head, and there's no scarf on their head. So it's like, it was just totally like wow, like
right.
We never saw that before.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you remember the rollers? That's hilarious. I remember that.
People are different over here.
Yeah. Okay. And so you moved and you wound up staying.
I was staying because I was young. I had no choice. Like me and my siblings, we didn't have a choice. Our parents mm-hmm. Said that this is where we were going, and that was it. We didn't have a choice. So we came here, we resided here, and one of the things that helped, we had cousins that were here the year before us. So we hung together. Like we hung together every weekend.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that makes a difference.
And then started to adjust. to our
Yeah.
new family, right?
Yeah. And that's good to have family there because, that could have been a little lonely.
Yeah, it would have been.
Yeah.
Would have been.
But I'm still laughing, y'all, because she's talking about those rollers, and I remember those rollers, the pink
Yeah.
sponge rollers.
And we're just looking like, what? Like,
Everybody's mama, auntie, grandmama had them sponge rolls. They came in pink and black. I love
it
that.
was just so weird to see somebody wearing it on the street. Like, we weren't used to that, right? Like,
right. You like in the house.
and it's not covered, right? It's
right. No shame. I love that. That's a great memory, though. Man, so in New York, so what? Like, I hear so much stuff about New York, and how's the Jamaican food there? Because I'm in Atlanta, and we have a lot of Jamaican restaurants here. So I'm like, how's the Jamaican food there?
Well, it's excellent. When my father said it's good, then it's good.
It's good.
So there's actually a Jamaican restaurant a block away from me, and because my father resides in Florida now, so whenever he comes here, he goes to that restaurant. He says their goat is really good, their stuff is really good. Yeah. So when he says that, then it's good.
It's good. All right, I'll take his word for it. That's right. All right, Dad.
And plus we cook anyway. We cook Jamaican food. So.
Right. That's awesome. I love it. Okay, so let's get into the nitty gritty. I don't even know where to start, you guys. Let's see. Because she is a living strategist.
Victorious living, right?
Yeah. Yes, victorious living strategist. Thank you.
You're welcome.
She is an 8-time #1 international best-selling author. She's published. She started the Victorious Living Academy, TV talk show host. I can go on and on. So let's see. Let's start. What came first, the author or the Victorious Living Strategy? Like, what came first?
The author came first.
Okay.
The author came first. So my the first book I wrote was Are You in God's Will? Do you know that you have to choose? Right. And that was based on not knowing, because I didn't grow up. I grew up in a semi-godly home, but I didn't learn much about the Lord until grown. Right? So it was in my learning realizing, wait, we really have to make a choice, because when we don't make that choice, our father is Satan. Right? But if we don't know that, we continue living in by the world's standards, and we really need to live by our most high standards, our creative standards, because it makes a huge difference in our lives. So that's why that came about. So a lot of things come about because of my experiences.
Okay. So your experience with God. But wait a minute, but that's just one book.
That's one topic, right?
Right. So, you got 8. You might have more than that. Those are probably the ones that were the #1 international best-selling books.
Right.
So come on, let's get into it. Let's talk about these other books. That was one book. You got 8. So
you got all night? No.
No, we don't. I love it.
So my other book is Victorious Living: Guide to a Happier Life. And so I was led to write that because there was a time where I was stuck. I was so broken. I was living in mediocrity. And it was through learning, going through and gaining the right knowledge, because that's one of the things I say, gaining the right knowledge, learning that, wait, I don't have to stay like this. I can overcome this. And not only overcome, I can enjoy peace and happiness while I'm going through. And so that's when I was led to create Victorious Living Culture.
Okay.
To help people gain the tools, gain the right knowledge, so that they can overcome in their circumstances to victory.
Okay. So that book inspired like that part of your coaching.
Right.
In a sense.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Let's talk more about that, your coaching program. Let me see, because it says you had, because it's okay, because you're definitely you're passionate about seeing people's lives being transformed.
Yeah. Because part of it is, well, it's really because I was living, right? I did not know how to properly overcome. I wasn't always happy. I didn't always have that peace. So it's learning these tools and then learning to apply them to our lives, that we can walk in that victory. We can overcome regardless of the circumstances. We can overcome. We just have to learn the tools to do it, right? Gaining the right knowledge. And that's where victorious living culture comes in.
Okay, and let me go back for a second. What did you want to be when you grew up, when you was a little girl? What did you want to do?
When I was little, I actually wanted to work with children. I wanted to work with babies.
Really?
Yeah.
Like maybe a daycare?
Daycare, yeah. In England, it was called, what was it called? They called them nannies, but it was, I'm not remember the proper name, but it was like daycare. I wanted to work with babies. I wanted to work with children. That's what I wanted to do. And so that's another story, because in school, I believe it was about 13, you could get to choose your options for what, the field that you wanted to work in. So I chose childcare. But my parents wouldn't let me.
Oh, man.
So I had to switch to secretarial training.
Okay.
And so wise part of my story is that I did what I was told to do instead of what I wanted to do. So in that, I was never fulfilled in that role. Even though I did it well, I was never fulfilled. I was always jumping to something different, always doing something different. And so it wasn't until years later realizing that's why.
Right.
Because it wasn't what I wanted to do. So it's important, parents, let your children do what it is that they want to do. So yeah, so that's what it was.
Wow. Oh, you wanted to be with the babies. Are you working with any children now in your program, or is this just for adults?
It's for adults, but children's stuff will be coming down the road. Yeah, because whatever I'm led to do, right? So I will have a children's program. I actually have the book outlined of what I'm going to write for the children's program. So when the Lord says, okay, now do it, but yeah, it's coming.
Okay. I'm looking forward to it. We're gonna add some more stuff to this list. Now look, let's talk about this. Your Victorious Living Academy. So let's talk about that.
So it's got courses. It's courses where you do self-study. Like one of the courses is about your words and your thoughts. Like a secret to success is your thoughts and your words. So you register for the course and you take the course, because one of the most important things that we need to learn is to speak right. We have to speak right, because our words frame our world. Okay. And if we don't understand that, we perish, right?
Right.
I used to perish years ago because I didn't understand that.
Right.
Yes, so that's one of the things that is a biggie for me. Is teaching on words. And so with the academy, there's also a free community.
Okay.
It is a free community as well. And so you can get my book, the Victorious Living Mini Book, and it's for free on my academy.
Okay, I heard that. We like free. We like free. That is amazing. And okay, you guys, TV talk show host. Let's talk about that.
So a few years ago, I was hearing in my spirit TV talk show, and I'm like, what? No way! And the opportunity came up, and when the opportunity came up, I just knew to go for it. I just knew to go for it. And so that's basically what that was. And so it's not launched yet, but it will be soon.
Okay. And what is it like? What type of subjects will you be talking about? Is there a certain theme to the show? Or?
Themes, it's really going to be overcoming. So it's going to be teaching, and having guests on the show talking about overcoming the things that people have gone through and how they overcame to where they are now. And so it's all to help people. So it's teaching. Like the first couple of episodes are about victorious living.
Okay.
It's teaching about victorious living. And then after that, it's guests. And then after that, there'll be more teaching. So however I'm led, then that's what's gonna be.
Yes, that's amazing.
Yeah,
That is amazing.
It is. It really is. And sometimes, because I just keep going, and when I'm listening to you, then I'm realizing, wow, I have accomplished a lot.
Yeah, and it doesn't even seem like, because like you're in the midst of it, you're doing your thing, and I'm just looking at it, I'm like, I don't even know where to start with this. It's amazing. It is. So what is victorious living? Like, what is that for you? How do you live victoriously?
How do I live victoriously? When things come up, I stop, think about and analyze, okay, and see what tool I need to use in that situation. Right? A lot of times I'm praying, but I do put pen to paper with what is going on and really analyze the situation, analyze myself and see what is going on in me, and just work through, just keep, and it's a continual thing because things always come up.
Yes.
Right. So it's a continual thing. Like recently something came up. I was like, oh, if I allowed that situation, it would get me down. But no, I don't let things get me down anymore, because there's no need for it. We can live in victory no matter what comes at us. And I'm a believer in the Lord, in the Most High. And so one of the promises is living a victorious life. But there are things that will come up because we have an enemy. So things will come up, but it's how we handle them.
Yes.
That will lead us. Is it gonna lead us to victory? Because many years ago, a lot of things I went through wasn't leading me through to victory. So I was living a defeated life, right? But not anymore. When things come up now, there's things that I do to make sure, no, I'm staying in my peace. I'm keeping my peace no matter what.
Yes.
And then I will, like I said, I put pen to paper and I analyze and see what's going on, and then take the steps to make sure, no.
Right. And I'm big on that, just being self-aware and definitely taking care of yourself first, seeing what's going on with you first. When you learn you, then you can be aware of people around you and see what's going on with everybody else. So yeah, I'm definitely an 100% agreement with that. And I like how you writing it down. You writing it down. So what's going on? Yes. And as far as peace, I agree with that too. I don't care who you are. If you messing with my peace, I'm serious. I don't want to be bothered with you. And that's just honest, because my peace is so important.
Exactly.
You know, especially now. We're already going through enough. Yeah. As it is. Dealing with what's going on in the world. So I have to be at peace. Absolutely.
Definitely. And that's why it's fulfilling for me to help people and see that, especially when they take heed and do what they need to do, because if we don't do anything different, nothing changes. So we have to sit back, and we really have to look within, and we know that that's a challenging thing.
Yes, that is.
It's challenging. I got to look at myself. What I know.
Yeah, because now you got to be that mirror there, and now you got to be honest with yourself, and that's the thing.
Right. And so
a lot of things
to do.
Go ahead.
I said it's not an easy thing to do.
No, it's not.
But it is beneficial. It makes a huge difference in our lives.
Yes.
Because and we have to be aware, right? Because that's where it starts, right? We have to be aware. If we're not aware, we can't do anything different. So that's the first thing that we have to do, is be aware and be open.
Yes.
That no, we can do better. We can live better. We can have that victorious life that we're promised.
Yes.
We just have to do something about it. It does take work.
Yes, it does. It's a journey.
Yeah.
For sure. It's a marathon. It's not a race. It's definitely a marathon. And when if you get to the point, okay, it's you and it's 30 people. And everybody's saying the same thing about you, but it's everybody else's fault, all 30 other people's fault, and you're the common denominator of those 30 people, guess what?
Then it's you.
And it's okay, because with no judgment,
that's right.
My thing, I'm like, I just want all of us just to heal and just be whole and happy.
That's right.
And abundant. Yeah. Like you talk about that life, that victorious life that we are supposed to have, that we can. This what's the word? Like our birthright, in a sense. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So, yes.
In every way, right? Mm-hmm. In healing and in prosperity, finances, everything, in every aspect of our lives.
Oh, excuse me. Yes.
Baby.
Yeah, that's beautiful. I mean, I just love, and that's just a little bit of the my gosh, of the things that you're doing. So you didn't actually work with the babies, but you are you're still helping. I ask people that I have on my show like what they wanted to be when they grew up, just to see like, is this in alignment with what they're doing now? Mm-hmm. And mostly everybody, it's not exactly what they wanted, but it's still in alignment. It's something about helping or healing or something like that. So you really are doing, it's in alignment. It's actually on a bigger scale, actually.
Right.
Than what you intended. But I do agree. I still agree with her. Let your kids. That's how they want to do, because you don't want them to be miserable.
Right. Right, because it did make an impact. So it's one of my stories that I use in speaking and in writing and everything. It's one of my stories. Mm-hmm. Because, as you're going through too, like speaking for myself, I didn't know like many years later that I would be doing this, right? Mm-hmm. Right. And so all my stories come in to help other people. Mm-hmm. Because like I know I have a friend that was her daughter. I forgot what her daughter wants to do, and she's telling her, no, don't do that because it doesn't pay well. And I'm telling her, let her do what she wants to do, because you don't know what can come of it, right? Whatever we do will flourish once we have the right knowledge, and we're walking right. We're walking in victory. We're gonna flourish in whatever it is that we're doing, right? So let her do. That's what she's passionate about. Let her do it. And so she switched from it. Now I use my story because I was not fulfilled. And like I said, it was years and years before I realized, and that's why.
Yes, and we are definitely
never settled.
Yes, and we are supposed to be fulfilled in this life.
Right.
We are.
Yeah. And
the thing about the money, I would pay. It's like. I know so many people that make great money, but they are miserable.
Yes. Yep.
Unhappy.
Yep.
And they may be great in their career.
Right.
I mean, just, number one, but as far as their personal life.
Right.
Not so great.
No, because then it affects other areas of your lives, right? Mm-hmm. We need to be fulfilled in each area. Mm-hmm. Right? Not just the job, just not, just looking at the money, but no, we need to be fulfilled. Because when I started this journey, the Victorious Living journey, and actually even before I started it, I was a coach and I didn't know it. Right? So, people would always call me for things, and after I'd speak to them, and then they would come back and say, it worked. What you said to do, it felt so good. Even just speaking with them and giving them the advice, it felt so good. So I knew that was fulfilling for me. And then how many years later? Wow, what?
Wow. So how long have you been doing it? How long have you been coaching?
This journey? I started this journey, 2020, beginning January 2016. I started this journey, the Victorious Living journey. Okay. I started the Victorious Living culture, I should say. But before that, I was always advising people.
Mm-hmm. So before you put the name, before we put coaching on it, you said you just now put that on there in 16, but you were already doing it prior to that.
Years.
Yeah.
remember at the ministry that they would say that I have a shepherd's heart. I care about the people, and I do, and I do it, and it got. I would say I care even more so when I learned the tools, right, to realize that no, we don't need to be living this way. Like one of the things I overcame was emotional eating. I was stuck in that cycle for years, but I overcame that, and and again through gaining the right knowledge, I overcame that, and so that's one of the things that I teach on with overcoming. Right? I was broken from a relationship. I was like, there's so many different things, and there's so many layers of overcoming. Because one of them is even coming to this country was adding a layer of brokenness, and I didn't know that until again years later it showed up. I'm like, why is it bothering me now? Right. And I was a teenager when I came here, but it didn't show up until years later, and that was undoing all that brokenness.
Yes.
So I'm even more passionate about helping people to overcome and not be stuck.
Yes. And you know what? That's how it usually happens. You think you're good. You're like, I'm good.
That's right.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. You get grown. You say you as a teenager in your 20s and stuff. And then, boom.
Yeah.
You may, sometimes a relationship, we talk about that, those relationships that trigger certain things, that bring out certain things that you didn't even know existed, know.
Right.
And those traumas do come back from childhood. And
yeah,
that's why I tell people sometimes our relationships don't run from them because they're necessary for our growth and evolution.
Right.
To that next level. And it's always something that God works. He puts you he puts you in a situation that can be so devastating to you.
Right.
Almost, you make you just want to just give up sometimes. Right. It's like he puts you in puts you in a corner where you have to go to him. It's just you and him.
You have to.
And you have to go, inside. You have to go within to figure all this stuff out.
Right. And there's there's so many people that don't know to do that, and so that's why we have to get their help. And part of it too is we were raised where you don't go and talk to anybody, right?
Oh no, you definitely don't tell your business.
Right. So you don't get the proper help. Like
no, nobody. You definitely you don't tell you don't tell your business. You definitely don't go to no counseling or no therapist, because no. And that old saying, like, what happens in this house stays in this house, that kind of stuff is so, I think that's just so dysfunctional. It's the worst, the worst piece of advice or whatever, you know what I mean? Yeah. And growing up, how it's just the worst thing that could have been said, right there, Yeah,
because so many people could have been helped. And, I know so many people that have passed away, and they've passed away in that brokenness, being stuck. And if they knew, because even for myself, it wasn't many years ago that I started to go and seek help, outside help. It wasn't like many years ago that I started to do that. So I didn't know that back then to say to anybody, you need to get help. Because one of the things that, because things stay with you. Yeah. One of the things was I have an aunt that was she had to have been in her 70s at that time. When I was going through a divorce. And she would tell me, don't leave, right? Like, don't leave. And then she would be upset. And her husband left her. So she never got past it. She was stuck in that. So that's what that showed me. But I didn't fully understand it until, years later. But she was telling me to stay because of what happened with her. And she was still hurting from it. So we need to get help. We need to speak to somebody, because sometimes we're stuck and we don't know. Years ago, I didn't know I was stuck.
Right.
Years ago, I didn't even know I was broken. I didn't even know how unhappy I was. So we need to, and this is where the awareness comes in. This is where going and just seeking help and just to get to know what is going on with you, so then you can know to move forward and, wait, I don't have to live like this. No, I can be happier. I can have that peace. I can properly overcome. So
Yes.
many don't know. So that's why it really is such a passion for me, seeing people that, okay, I know that they're not happy, but
yeah.
You see it clearly, but they think they're fine, right?
Right. Yep. And that's why we have to go through what we have to go through, so that we can be relatable and identify that in other people.
Right.
Because we are definitely here for a purpose. We all have a purpose.
That's right. I say the same thing. Yep.
It's just finding it, and you've got to do that inner work, I believe, and get work on your mental health before you can serve and help other people. You got to go through something. You're gonna have to.
Right.
You got to get shaken up. So you can, come back and be on a solid foundation. Because a lot of that's just faulty foundations. We just on these cracks in the ground. We think I'm good. Them crack, and they steady cracking, crack. One day, boom.
Right.
Big hole in the street. You done fell in.
When people are talking to me, I'm like, I can help.
Right. They need somebody to help them out those holes. Yes. Wow, I love it. I love your energy, and I can tell you are in an amazing place right now. I love it, and that's why I tell people, even though we heal and we go through, and there's always room for growth. Oh yeah, and evolution and improvement. I always So it's not like, because I talk a lot about, I talk about mental health. Like every Monday, I do mental health Mondays.
Okay.
Yeah, so I talk about that, different things to look for. Yeah, because I've had my fair share of it. I tried to take my life when I was in high school. I've been on antidepressants. I've been through a lot. I've been to a therapist. So I just talk about what I know. What I know, and things that I did. And what I think can help other people, and just being an inspiration and just being positive and sharing a good word, So
and you said that you was in high school?
Yeah.
When that was happening, and that's so young.
Very.
Yeah.
Very young. Yeah, I felt like everybody it'd be a better place, without me. Yeah.
And that's the life from the pit of hell.
Yes. And so me going through a lot of things. Yeah. It's like I can look back now and I'm so thankful of all the negative things that I went through, because I understand. Yeah. I understand, and I know people, they come talk to me anytime. I get it, Right. And in doing the interviews and talking to people, I'm finding out how a lot of us have, similar, similarities in our, rearing and situations that we've had to deal with, and all that good stuff. So it's therapeutic, Yeah. These interviews, and I like to call them conversations more than interviews, because you're not trying to get no job.
That's true. That is so true. I like that.
Yes, we're not trying to get job. We're just having a conversation, just being, being a little open and a little transparent. That's why I say leave that shell at the door, because you don't have to, just relax and just be comfortable in your own skin.
Right.
So
awesome.
Yes.
You have a story. Are you an author? Are you an author? Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I was a part of an anthology.
Okay.
So I started there. I do have I have a book of poems coming out soon.
Okay.
And it's gonna be very interesting. And I'm going to get into more writing. Yes. I got on. We're on the Own It platform now, so I wound up, getting with Marisa through the anthology. Vanessa Blackwell was her vision. Got with her, then I got introduced to Marisa to the Own It magazine, and I already have a podcast. It's just audio. So now I'm visual. Now we're here, So
wonderful.
yeah, and I just stay so full of gratitude. And like you say, just keep adding on. I don't know, you know. And they're like, how do you? I'm like, I don't know. It comes to me, or people come to me, and it just, you know, it connects, you know.
Right.
So yeah, and so I definitely I think anthologies are great because you meet so many people,
Mm-hmm.
and
Can
you
I tell
know,
you about mine?
yeah,
Because I was
yes,
led
please.
to um, I was led to create um, the anthology "Stuck Is Not Your Story," and
Mm-hmm,
so the theme is "Stuck Is Not Your Story,"
mm-hmm,
and then the topic will change. Right. So last year we launched it was "Change is Possible." Stuck is not your story. Change is possible.
mm-hmm.
So the upcoming one now is "Stuck is Not Your Story. I Overcame."
Yes, yes, I
There's a
love that.
series of them. Yeah.
Oh, I love that. I
Yeah.
love that. That's gonna be nice. How many authors?
Well, I'm just starting it now for
I'm
this
just
for this
starting.
one.
Okay.
This one I'm just starting. Yeah.
Okay. All right. I'm not surprised, ladies and gentlemen. She's Noreen said, I'm gonna keep moving until I can't move no more.
There's a lot to do.
Yes, we have a lot of work to
There's a
do.
lot to do. I can
Yes.
tell you, actually, last year I was in the hospital.
Mm,
Um, I was in the hospital. I was at death's door.
mm,
And so it was right when we launched the book. We launched the book the Saturday. I was in the hospital the Tuesday. So, and
wow.
so I was out. I've been out of it for quite a while.
Mm-hmm.
So that's another story because if my mind wasn't strong, I wouldn't be here
Mm-hmm.
because I was so sick. The doctor said to me, "There's no oxygen in your lungs." And my friend said as well, she's a nurse, that if I had stayed home just a couple more days, my lungs would have collapsed.
Wow.
So my body was very sick last year, but look at me now. I
Mm-hmm.
overcame.
Yes, you did.
I'm still here. So
Yes.
I'm writing that story actually. I'm writing that story
Yes.
because I know it's going to help many with the things that were said to me, and people were not expecting me to live.
Just giving up.
Because, people were not expecting me to live, so I was getting calls, all these calls, and I'm just like, they're not expecting me to live. But I didn't say anything because
Right.
I know my words. I understand how to use my words and use my thoughts. That I knew that I would be fine. I was thinking about, I got too much work to do.
Yes. Yes, you do.
So
Like, okay, now let's go. Let's go. I
the
love
healing
that.
journey was long, and I'm actually really just slowly coming back.
Okay. What a testimony. Wow. 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 Oh, Noreen, I have enjoyed this time that we spent together. Thank you so much for coming on the show.
You're almost welcome. Thank you for having me.
Yes.
It's a pleasure.
And did you have maybe just one piece of advice or one quote or one thing that you would like to tell the audience?
I like to say there is always hope because victorious living is possible, but you have to do something different. If you don't do anything different, nothing changes.
Awesome. Beautifully said. And go ahead and tell us how we can get in touch with you. I have the ticker going across, but just, in case you want to add something.
Okay. I'm on social media. Facebook is Noreen Henry. Instagram is Victorious Noreen. You can find me on YouTube. And actually, you can just put my name, Noreen Henry, in the search engine and you'll find me.
Awesome. Well, again, thank you.
You're welcome.
And I just want to also make sure I say thank you to the Own It platform. Thank you so much. And ladies and gentlemen, make sure you like and share and subscribe this show. We appreciate that. We really do. And before I go, I would like to say, remember, just like the sun, you are necessary. I love y'all.